Hello everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Nikki Vlogs. Duck tour in Boston is quite famous. ഇവിടെ വന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഒരു must do tour എന്നാണ് എല്ലാവരും പറയുന്നത് because it takes you to all the historic places. So that's what we want. അപ്പോൾ ഇങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ പേരൻസ് ഒക്കെ വരുമ്പം ഇതിൻ്റെ അകത്ത് ഇരുന്ന് ഓരോ സ്ഥലങ്ങൾ കാണാനും ഒത്തിരി നടക്കാനും ഇതൊന്നും തപ്പാനും വലിയ പ്രശ്നമൊന്നും ഇല്ലാതെ പോകാനും ഒക്കെ. പിന്നെ ഈ ടൂർ അടിപൊളിയാണോ അല്ലയോ എന്ന് ഞാൻ ഇത് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് അവസാനം പറയാം. ഇതിൻ്റെ ടിക്കറ്റ് പ്രൈസസ് എക്സെട്ര അങ്ങനത്തെ കാര്യങ്ങൾ 9 o'clock-നാണ് നമ്മൾ സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നത് ഇവിടുന്ന്. So this is called land and water duck tour. So ആദ്യം ലാൻഡിലുള്ള എല്ലാ സ്ഥലങ്ങളും കാണിക്കും, ലാസ്റ്റ് ഫൈനലി വെള്ളത്തിലേക്ക് അത് ഇറങ്ങും. അപ്പോൾ അതൊരു ഫൺ റൈഡ് ആവും. ഓരോന്നും ലൈനിൽ വന്ന് നിൽപ്പുണ്ടല്ലേ, ഗ്രീൻ, റെഡ്, ഓറഞ്ച് അങ്ങനെ എല്ലാം വന്നിട്ടുണ്ട്. എക്സൈറ്റഡ് ആണോ മമ്മ ഡക്ക് ടൂർ ചെയ്യാൻ?
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും. ബോസ്റ്റൺ എനിക്ക് ഒത്തിരി ഇഷ്ടമായി, കാരണം ഒത്തിരി ഹിസ്റ്റോറിക് വാല്യൂസ് ഒക്കെ ഉള്ള ഒരു സിറ്റിയാണ്.
യെസ്റ്റർഡേ ടീ പാർട്ടിക്ക് പോയില്ല, ഹൗ ഇസ് ഇറ്റ്?
ഹൗസ് ഇറ്റ് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ ഞാൻ വിചാരിക്കുന്നു കുറേ വർഷങ്ങൾക്ക് മുമ്പ് തന്നെ ഇത് കാണേണ്ടതായിരുന്നു. അങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ പരീക്ഷയ്ക്ക് നമുക്ക് ഫുൾ മാർക്ക് അടിച്ചെടുക്കാമായിരുന്നു.
അപ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് ഡക്ക് ടൂർ പോയിട്ട് അവസാനം പറയാം അല്ലേ, എങ്ങനെയുണ്ട് ഡക്ക് ടൂർ?
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും.
ഓക്കെ, കം. ഡൈനോസർ വിത്ത് എ മാസ്ക്, കൊള്ളാലോ. ഓക്കെ, എല്ലാവരും എത്തിയിട്ടുണ്ട്. നമ്മൾ കയറാൻ പോവുകയാണ്. ഫോട്ടോ സെഷൻസ് ഹാപ്പനിങ്.
നമുക്ക് ബോസ്റ്റൺ എനിക്ക് ചാൾസ് ടൗൺ റിവർ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു, ചാൾസ് റിവറോ ചാൾസ് ടൗൺ റിവറോ. അപ്പോൾ അവിടെ നിന്നും ബോസ്റ്റൻ്റെ ഡൗൺ ടൗൺ വ്യൂ കിട്ടും. Let's take it out.
Please remain seated and keep your arms, legs, head inside the vehicle at all times.
This green duck, we're going into the Charles River. Everybody knows we're going into the river, right? That's what this is all about up here. All right, let's run amok. All right, Howie, that's a pretty good opening line. Well, we started here in Boston in 1625. A fellow by the name of the Reverend William Blackstone, he settled in West Augusta, which is in Weymouth, Massachusetts. And look through the windshield. You see those 6 glass towers? That's our Holocaust memorial. That represents 6 Nazi concentration camps. And in each one of those towers are 1 million 7-digit numbers for the 6 million Jewish people that perished in World War II in those camps. Right behind it is the Blackstone Block. Melonhead Tavern, 1795, oldest tavern in America. The oldest continuously operating restaurant in America is the Union Oyster House. And folks, that's the Blackstone Block. That's where all the commercial traffic began. Faneuil Hall, the cradle of liberty. I think I can hear James Otis right now saying, taxation without representation is tyranny. All the great debates that got us to our freedom began right here at Faneuil Hall. 1960, John F. Kennedy gave his last speech just prior to being inaugurated, the 35th President of the United States. Now that statue, that tall one with that guy's standing there defiantly, that's Sam Adams. Sam Adams is my Revolutionary War hero, and I'll tell you why. He used the Boston Massacre as propaganda. Him and the Sons of Liberty. The Boston Massacre happened March 5th, 1770, many years before the Revolutionary War began. They used that for the spark that lit the fire to the Revolutionary War for close to 5 years, 1770, right to get us to the Revolutionary War. Guys, look over here on the right-hand side. Look where I'm pointing right here. That was our seat of colonial government. The British took over our building during the siege of Boston. They put the lion up on the left-hand side for England, and the unicorn on the right-hand side, that's Scotland. And then right below that is a balcony. Can you see the balcony, guys? From that balcony, July 18th, 1776, the first time the Declaration of Independence was read to all the Sons of Liberty and all the residents of Boston was on the 18th of July, because on the 4th of July, it was read in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It took 2 weeks by horseback to reach Boston to be read from that balcony. Now it's been read from that balcony every 4th of July since that time. Even during the bicentennial in 1976, when the Queen of England came to Boston, guess what she did, guys? She read the Declaration of Independence from that balcony. All right, we're coming up to what used to be called Old Scully Square. This is where my parents ran amok right up till the 1950s and 60s. Today, it's a modern government center. But take a look up here on the right-hand side. Look for a gold tea kettle. Can you see that gold tea kettle yet? Right where I'm pointing. That's called a pictograph. Not everybody could speak English back in the day. There was a lot of immigration going on in Boston. So that goes back to the Oriental Tea Company. And oddly enough, it's on a Starbucks coffee outlet today. And if you turn the corner, you'll see a modern pictograph of Dunkin' Donuts. We've got 135 of those here in Boston. Yeah. Also coming up on the left, the first burial ground here in Boston, King's Chapel. John Wyndham is buried here, Mary Chilton, the first pilgrim off the Mayflower. And Frederick Tudor is also buried here, King's Chapel. Guys, look up in the bell tower. The largest bell cast by Paul Revere is still up there today. The black and gold right across the street, guys, is the Omni Parker House. The oldest continuously operating hotel in America. 1 week before he shot and killed President Lincoln, John Wilkes Booth stayed right there at the Parker House. And it's most famous for the Parker House rolls and Boston cream pie. That's where they were invented. Yeah. Guys, the Beantown Pub on the left-hand side, only place in the world where you can sit down, have an ice cold glass of Sam Adams, while viewing an ice cold Sam Adams. This is what we call the Hall of Fame burial ground. 3 signers of the Declaration of Independence are buried here. Robert Tree Payne, Sam Adams, John Hancock. Paul Revere and his wives away in the back. You see that white wreath back there? That's Paul Revere and his wives and 2 of his children. Paul Revere outlived a lot of his own children. Yeah, he lived to be 83 years old. James Otis is buried here. He's the guy that coined the phrase, taxation without representation is tyranny. He's buried there. 9 former governors of Massachusetts are buried here. 5 former mayors. And Elizabeth the Goose. Does anybody know Elizabeth? Mother Goose. Yeah. She's buried here as well. This is Boston Common, 1634. If you don't get enough history from Run Amok today, you can do the Freedom Trail. Right in the center there is the Boston Information Center. You can take a guided tour or an unguided tour. Look down Boylston Street. You see that marquee right there? That was our first theater. We're coming into our theater district. That was called the Colonial Theater. Today it's called the Emerson Colonial Theater. Well, they had a treadmill on that stage in 1900. They had 8 horses running full gallop on the opening play in 1900. Do you think we can do that today? Yeah, I don't think it's happening. Another magnificent theater right here, the Cutler Majestic. Emerson also took charge of that as well. And anybody remember that incident at the Oscars a couple of weeks ago with Chris Rock? And well, he went to the Wilbur right here, where that touring bus is. These are all the big guys: the Wang Theater, the Box Center, the Schubert Theater. Right up here where the W is, that's where the Blue Man group plays at the Charles Playhouse. When the Blue Man group came back to Boston, we knew we were kind of getting back to normal. Yeah, so there it is right there. And guys, straight ahead, first, we didn't have the first lawyer in America, woman lawyer, but we had the first college for women to attend to be lawyers, and that was right here at the New England Law. That used to be called the Portia School. So we had the first school for women to be lawyers. In Boston Common, 1634. New Boston, one of our first landfills, is the Boston Public Garden, filled in 1837. And it's our first botanical garden in America. Trees from all over the world are planted here. Trees from all over the United States. Every spring, we plant a minimum of 25,000 tulips in this beautiful 24-acre park. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Really incredible. Guys, most photographed statue we have in Boston. Great spot to stop, Howie. That's General George Washington right there with the beautiful cityscape in the background. And then on this side here, Nobody really cared about him until the play started to come out, but that's Alexander Hamilton. Now, Hamilton was George's Secretary of the Treasury. Did you know that? And George was a spender. Did you guys know our first president was a big spender? Hamilton had to really keep a close eye on him. So even in statues, Hamilton's keeping a close eye on George. Yeah. So now he's going to take a look down at Newbury Street. If it's clear to go, we're going to go down our most expensive street in Boston. Hold on to your wallets. Anybody staying here at the Newbury? Or the magnificent hotel here in Boston? Okay. Used to be called the Taj. All right, he's doing it, guys. So we have Tiffany, Burberry, Chanel, Shreveport and Lowe. Little cottage on the right, that's LA Verdict. I got a thing in there called a frozen hot chocolate. Sounds like an oxymoron, but it's really good. This church is coming up on the right hand side. This church is on the top 10 list of the most significant pieces of architecture in America today. Henry Hobson Richardson is the architect. The church itself is sitting on 5,402 wooden piles, the most of any building here in the Back Bay. Now, put them in video mode because we're going to get a selfie of all of us. We're going to quack ourselves by the tallest building in Boston. Run amok! You're going to get the beautiful Trinity Church in the back. Hey guys, does this hotel look familiar to anybody? Fairmont Copley Plaza? Anybody ever see The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody? That's the Tipton Hotel. Yeah. Dog-friendly hotel. Yeah. This is the Boston Public Library. Get a picture of the Trinity Church while I'm talking about the library. This isn't just a library, this is a museum. Really a magnificent place. This is where the Museum of Science started. That was our Natural History Museum. It outgrew all those exhibits. In 1950, they moved over to the river, to Cambridge. So guys, as they began filling in the Back Bay, they put land aside for churches, public parks, public buildings like the library. And the very first church they built is this one coming up on the left. It's not much to look at on the outside, but inside it is really magnificent. But you're going to see these beautiful, rich blue Lewis Comfort Tiffany windows. They're priceless windows. During the pandemic, they went out all throughout Boston. The Church of the Covenant has Lewis Comfort Tiffany windows as well. They boarded them all up because they were really afraid they were going to get destroyed. So, but they did a great job. Those have like plexiglass leg stand covering them up right now. But if you think they're beautiful from this side, if you go inside the church, they're really magnificent. Somerset Club. This is the oldest men's club here in Boston, and also the former location of John Singleton Copley, that famous portrait artist, at his first house right here. As we reach the summit, where John F. Kennedy is running at us right now, there would have been one mansion up here all by itself that belonged to John Hancock. When John Hancock died, his estate sold this off to the Commonwealth. We have our new state house, cornerstone laid in 1795, and the brick portion completed in 1798. Now the Puritans came to America for religious freedom. They hanged Mary Dyer for her religious beliefs, and her only crime was that she was a Quaker. They wouldn't tolerate any other religion. These Puritans were real hypocrites, and they'd hang them right on Boston Common. They were doing hangings of Quakers long before they were hanging witches and Salem witches. Guys, 3 memorials coming up behind the State House. We've got the Fireman's Memorial, the Revolutionary War Memorial with the eagle on the top, and then there's a badge right there. That's the Law Enforcement Memorial. Well, look over here on the right-hand side. Look for a gold cup, green door, number 122. That's the 3rd floor apartment of the 35th President of the United States, John F. Kennedy. He was elected to Congress in 1946. Up until the day he was assassinated, John F. Kennedy maintained the address, 122 Bowdoin Street, Boston, Massachusetts. Our number 1 museum here in Boston They got the new Omni Theater. They have a theater of electricity, over 700 exhibits. And look, they put a statue of my mother-in-law on a block right out front there, yeah. Anybody remember Devo from the 1980s? He's on the Berlin Wall right in front of the Holt International Business School. They gave that piece of the wall because education first, they break down barriers through language and education. 2003, they completed their first campus. 2014, a second campus that's magnificent. And then late last year, behind the International Business School, you'll see that white high-rise. That's where they house all those students. They just completed that late last year. So if you guys got any interest in education first, yes. Just anything on wheels. At one time, we had the largest skateboard park in America until Houston, Texas, and then Louisiana took us out of those categories. But there it is, the Lynch Family Skateboard Park. The Lynch family worked with the Big J, the Department of Conservation and Recreation, and many, many other state agencies. I'm going to turn the radio on to the Massachusetts State Police, United States Coast Guard. All from New Jersey. Running up buck on a buck, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Scorsese's right behind you too. Yeah, look at her. Run amok! Thanks again, everybody. Enjoy the quack quack. Thanks very much, guys.
Mama, quack,
I'll be at the bottom of the ladder.
Quack,
Yeah.
അപ്പൊ മമ്മയ്ക്ക് ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു അല്ലേ ബോസ്റ്റൺ?
തീർച്ചയായിട്ടും
ബോസ്റ്റൺ ഇഷ്ടപ്പെട്ടു. ഈ ഡക്ക് ടൂർ എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു മമ്മ?
വേണ്ടെന്ന് അറിയത്തില്ല, അത്രയും നമ്മൾ എൻജോയ് ചെയ്തു. എല്ലാവരും വിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട, അമേരിക്കയിൽ വിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്യേണ്ട
ബോസ്റ്റൺ
പ്ലേസ് ആണ് ബോസ്റ്റൺ. കാരണം ബോസ്റ്റണിൽ ഒത്തിരി ഹിസ്റ്റോറിക് വാല്യൂസ് ഉള്ള പ്ലേസസ് ഉണ്ട്. എനിക്ക് തന്നെ വളരെ അഭിമാനം തോന്നി. മാർട്ടിൻ ലൂതർ, ജോൺ പോൾ സെക്കൻഡ്, ജോൺ ഓഫ് കെന്നഡി സ്പീച്ച് ചെയ്ത സ്ഥലങ്ങളൊക്കെ വിസിറ്റ് ചെയ്തു എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ് അഭിമാനമുണ്ട്. അപ്പോൾ ഈ വീഡിയോയിൽ തന്നെ നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഇത് കാണാം. എല്ലാവർക്കും വരാൻ പറ്റുകയാണെങ്കിൽ അത്രയും നല്ലത്. അത് വരാൻ പറ്റിയില്ലെങ്കിലും ഇതിനെപ്പറ്റിയുള്ള ഹിസ്റ്ററി സെർച്ച് ചെയ്യുക, ഈ പ്ലേസസ് കാണുക. ഇറ്റ്സ് വർത്ത്.
ഇപ്പം ഡക്ക് ടൂർ നല്ലതാണ്. എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു പ്രായമുള്ളവർക്കും നമ്മുടെ പേരൻസിനെയൊക്കെ ബോസ്റ്റണിൽ കൊണ്ടുവന്ന സ്ഥലം കാണിക്കാൻ ഐ തിങ്ക് ഡക്ക് ടൂർ നല്ല, റാദർ ദാൻ ഒരു പ്ലേസിൽ നിന്ന് ഒരു പ്ലേസിലേക്ക് ഇപ്പം വാക്ക് ചെയ്യാനാണെങ്കിലും വാക്കബിൾ ഡിസ്റ്റൻസ് ആണെങ്കിൽ അത്യാവശ്യമുണ്ട്. ബട്ട് യങ്സ്റ്റേഴ്സിന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു ബോസ്റ്റൺ നടന്നു തന്നെ ചെന്ന് കാണുന്നതായിരിക്കും കുറച്ചും കൂടെ നല്ലതെന്ന് എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു പേഴ്സണലി. അപ്പോൾ വി എൻജോയ്ഡ്. അപ്പോൾ അടുത്ത വീഡിയോ വരുന്നവരേക്കും ബൈ ബൈ.